everyone, this is Gracie. I was told my near-death experience video that I did is pretty hard to hear, so I thought I should redo it. So here goes. So this happened many years ago when I was 18 years old. I had to have some surgery, and while I was in the hospital, my ankle looked like it just swelled up suddenly, and it looked like it swallowed a grapefruit. So I told the nurse, they did some tests, and I saw on the screen that they did, they were taking pictures of it, and I had like hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of blood clots, like from my ankle, leg, and up into my pelvis. So it was a very serious case of deep vein thrombosis. And so I'm like, I want to go home. And they're like, oh, no, doctor said, you're not going anywhere. So I wasn't on any pain medicine or anything. They just put me on blood thinners, but I had to stay in the hospital and stay in bed. So I was stuck there. And every morning, my mom would come over and wait with me until we got the doctor's report, because, hey, maybe they'd let me go home early, I thought. And so her and I would just talk, and she'd be knitting. And I was there in the room, and all of a sudden, all of that just faded out. And what came into focus was I was in a beautiful meadow, I guess you could call it, a meadow valley. And there were these gorgeous, beautiful flowers that were kind of like swaying, beautiful, beautiful, vibrant colors. And I'm like, immediately, I'm like, oh, where am I? I'm not in the hospital room. And then I felt this incredible sense of peace. And I knew someone was there, but I couldn't see them, except for what I just described, this beautiful valley and meadow and flowers. And I immediately thought, I think that's the Lord, because it felt like the most perfect peace you've ever been in. I can't explain it, except it transcends any peaceful time that you've ever had here on earth by thousands of times. It's just, you can't even really explain it. It was awesome. But since I was there, I immediately started pleading my case with the Lord, even though I couldn't see him. I could feel him there. And I'm like, Lord, I want to stay and live. I want to live, and I want to get married someday and have children. And, I'm kind of pleading my case. And suddenly, all that went away, and I was back in my room with my mom, and she's knitting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is serious. So I didn't want to just tell my mom, hey, Mom, I think I died, or I'm about ready to die. So I just told her, hey, Mom, Jesus is here, Mom. And she was knitting. She goes, well, that's nice, honey. And, and she's knitting away. And I'm like, oh, she's not getting it. I'm like, no, Mom, Jesus is really here. Because I thought, if I die, I want her to know where I went. I never came out and just told her that, hey, I died, or I came very close to death at that time, because she'd been through a lot because of some things that had happened there. So, I was very fortunate to see these things. But the kicker, I guess you could say, is that this happened every morning for three days in a row. The same exact scenario. And it was real. I wish I could go see that place again. I wasn't there very long, but what I saw was beauty, and I felt, one of the titles of the Lord of Jesus is the Prince of Peace. And of course I found that out some years later when I started reading the Bible. I read it sometimes, actually. I don't have them memorized and stuff like that, and one of his titles is the Prince of Peace. And so that makes perfect sense to me. He was actually there. And obviously not ready for me, because I've lived a long time since then. I've had many things happen, but that's my that's my testimony. So don't fear death. I do suggest following the Lord, and asking him into your life. I have a relationship with him. He's never let me down. I've had a pretty good life. Yeah, some things haven't been perfect by any means. I'm not perfect. Ask my family. But so I hope that kind of lifts you up and gives you something to think about. So have a good day, you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.